Welcome back to the Awkward Turkey podcast. It is Sunday night. It is 7 o'clock. We are, of course, ready to rock. And if you joined us last week, you'll understand.
Where did that come from? 7 o'clock, ready to rock.
Adam Westcott,
what is that thing that we say?
Adam Westcott, who jumps in occasionally and introduces the episodes, decided one week.
I'm never ready to rock.
No, not.
That's not my thing.
Also, we kind of shoot this at 11 o'clock in the morning, so yeah. I am at my least.
To be honest, I'm ready for a bagel.
I am at my least ready to rock at 11 a.m. At my least ready to rock.
Jay's here. Jay's still here.
Still joined by Jay James. If you missed last week, it's worth going back and listening to, just for the intro he gave, where he jumped in with Bagel Boys and Are You Having a Laugh, which caught both me and Karl.
And also the intro that I gave him, that I've never given someone such a nice intro.
Jay, I'll be honest with you, before we shot this episode, me and Karl get together and we talk about, because we've got a couple of guests that we're filming today, and he's like, I've written this intro, and he read it to me, and I was like, that's really good. And it is the first intro. Do you want to do it again?
My response
Karl?
was, "Fucking right is good."
Karl, do you want to do it again? Because he's still here. It's Jay James from the Overtones fame, from lots of other types of fame.
Okay,
Go on, Karl, give us the intro.
Boys, the pressure's on.
Come on, Karl.
All right. He's 1/4 of my favourite vocal harmony group, the Overtones. He's Welsh, and he also happens to be one of my friends. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the multi-talented, for the second time in a row, Jay James.
Hey!
So Jay James.
Pick my bets up. Hey-o.
Thank
Jay
you,
James,
mate.
double header.
What an incredible introduction.
Well, that's all I bring to the table, James. I'm not going to lie.
It was better the second time, Karl.
Do you reckon?
Weirdly, it was better.
More conviction, I felt. More conviction.
Totally.
Now, obviously, this is going to be over 2 weeks. So if you're coming from week 1 into week 2, brilliant. If you haven't listened to the first part with Jay James, go back and listen to it. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Anchor, wherever you get your podcasts. Literally type Awkward Turkey in, and this will be the first thing you find, because nothing else on the planet is called Awkward Turkey. Why would it be? It's a stupid name. Now, Jay, we were, when we left you last week... We did, honestly, when we were naming the podcast, we just went to Urban Dictionary. We got to A and we went...
It was in A. We
that'll
just
do.
Went, that'll do.
That'll do. Jay, when you were with us last week, which for us was moments ago, we got to the X Factor and we were having a chat about it. And you were talking to us about your experience with the show. We've interviewed people on the show before who have done various forms of reality TV. And the interesting thing about the X Factor, or anything of the same sort of ilk in reality TV, is people have very, very mixed memories or feelings about it. They either had a great experience and they can't speak highly enough of the reality TV show they were on, or it was a terrible experience and one that, if they're being completely honest, they wish they'd never done. Where do you sit within that sort of spectrum?
It's a great, mate. It's a great, it's so well put, Tom, because you're totally on it and you've absolutely nailed it there. And I would suggest that a great deal of people that come off and say that it was an incredible experience and they loved every single second of it.
Liars.
I'm not saying that they're lying. I'm not saying that they're lying.
Yes, he is.
I'm not. But what I am saying is there is an element of fear with the X Factor that when you're in the moment, you don't want to feel ungrateful to the platform and the attention positive that you're getting, the support, because it is incredible. And I was going to say it in the last podcast, but one thing for me is I felt that the music industry and the entertainment industry at times can be a really lonely place. It can be a really testing, challenging place, and I've experienced real highs of that and I've experienced real lows of that, where my wife is pregnant. We're not really sure how much money we've got and how we're going to get on. And I know that is absolute, just threads to what other people are experiencing. Of course, but it's your own experience of life. And I was worried about how I was going to provide and what I'm going to do. And immediately, even with the baggage of having elements of success, albeit people not really knowing about that. And it's only really now and in the last few years that I've been quite open about those associations and working with the people that I'd worked with previously, the likes of John Legend, writing with the Jonas Brothers and stuff, because quite frankly, I'm the type of person, or was the type of person, that didn't really like to talk about that because actually I kind of really felt that any credibility that I needed to be off my own back. It needed to be not off the coattails of working with someone with a big name, and you kind of learn the industry a little bit, and you start to realize that that's what everybody actually does.
That is what you do. That is what you do.
Does.
And it is, people will go, oh, and I did it as well. You go, oh, I don't really want to drop that name, or I don't want to admit to that. Or I don't know, like if you come on my show, when I do it live, is everything embarrassing or bad that's happened to me that I'm worried about people finding out, I just tell them on stage. That's how I deal with it. And if it's an awkward name drop,
Tom punched a child once on stage.
Well, we've gone there.
I didn't punch a child. I didn't punch a child on stage, but I will give you a brilliant story it's similar to punching a child on stage. So I'm on stage it's actually ironically beautifully in Swansea. I'm on stage at Swansea Grand. It's a Monday night, and I am very, very nervous. And I go out on stage, and sometimes my nervousness manifests itself as outward aggression. And on this particular day, that is what it did. So I came out, and I've got these 3 dancers behind me, and they're going mad. The band's kicking off like that, and I'm everybody on your feet, and everybody sort of stands on their feet for the first song, and I'm just nailed it. And there's a guy in the front row, and he's not standing up. And I wear glasses. And I need them. I should have them on today, and I don't. And anyway, the first song finishes, and I'm still really nervous. And I'm like, everybody's having a good time apart from this guy here. House lights up. They turn the house lights up. The guy's in a wheelchair. And I'm like, I can't recover from it. I can't. There's no way that I can recover from it at all. I couldn't see him. I didn't know, but he was in a wheelchair.
Wow.
But it was the look in his eye, because I
walked out.
I screamed at him. I was like, stand up. And I could hear him through my in-ear monitors go, I can't, like that. And I was just like, oh, and they turned the house lights up, and he was in a wheelchair. And I felt absolutely, so I don't ask anybody to stand up anymore. If they want to, they do it of their own accord.
That is incredible.
See, Jay,
I mean, it's terrible. Wow, mate.
Yeah, Jay, you thought I was a prick.
What I should have done at that point. What I should have done at that point is just gone with I punched a child. I haven't punched any children, but that would have been slightly better.
At the start of this podcast, this episode, you spoke about why you named this Awkward Turkey.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And arguably that's the podcast, that's the show.
It's an awkward turkey. An awkward turkey is just it's I want the floor to swallow me up.
Oh, mate.
It was
horrendous.
It was a bad experience. A really, really bad experience. Like the guy had a laugh
just
about
like
it.
The X Factor, Jay.
Just like the X Factor.
Hey, it was a terrible, terrible experience, but great story.
Yeah, great story. Yeah,
it's a great story. Do you know what I mean? That's a great story.
I do try and tell people about it sometimes. I tell that story when I'm on stage now. And you can sort of gauge a room based on how they respond to it, because most people respond how you guys do, which is, oh my God.
Yeah, I just wanted to.
And then you'll get certain venues where they really find it funny. I'm like, it's not a joke. This is something that I did that was terrible that I wish I could take back. But
even the dryness of that delivery kind of sends people even further into laughter.
Yeah. I think so, because they know they're not supposed to. So it's good.
Mate, it's that thing, laughing when you know you shouldn't, isn't it? But mate, it's totally. I mean, look. What I was saying was the fact that these journeys with everything that we do become so much, and when you go on a show like that, you kind of share that experience with people. But what you don't expect is people to get behind that, understand that journey intrinsically, and then support you wholeheartedly. And that was the biggest thing for the X Factor for me, that overwhelming feel of support from thousands, if not millions of people that were like, this is a good lad, he's an honest lad, he's good, he's a great singer that kind of needs success. And that's one thing that I really, really, that I love from it. But one thing you can't do, and when you go through that show, is show a form of feeling ungrateful. And it was something that I did experience, and someone went through that was kind of like, I'm not happy with this song, or I'm not happy with the way that I did that song. And immediately the response was kind of like, well, you're clearly not grateful for the platform that you're performing on.
Yeah.
And then a backlash of thousands of people going, he's rubbish, he's crap, he doesn't appreciate our support. And it's like, no. He does.
He just doesn't like the song.
He just doesn't, and so very quickly you can turn from hero into zero, and you're very aware of that and expressing yourself wholeheartedly. So instead of going, I absolutely love the experience, but in times it was really difficult.
Yeah.
It was really difficult because of the elements of pantomime that go in the background, and the power struggles of what you need to do. But the truth is, I had a reasonably good experience, purely because I kind of carried myself, and I knew that the minute that I walked out onto the audition, what I was going to do is walk straight past the X, put my hand out, shake Karl by the hand and say, real pleasure to meet you. Real pleasure to meet you. And I knew wholeheartedly, and I had the confidence to know that, as a military man, I built up a bit of intel about the guy. And I knew that would probably get his attention and go, same as the 10 people in the last podcast that we spoke to, the 10 people in the pub, 6 people wouldn't listen to me. I knew by getting Karl's attention straight away and showing him that confidence and showing him that hunger, they wouldn't sit back and, and then maybe stick in a few brutal, savage comments because it was going to be great for TV and also what he genuinely thought. He'd go, okay. And that's what I genuinely saw him do, and that's what I felt him do. The minute I did that and walked on to the next, Cheryl, Mel, Louis, he went and looked at me before I even got back to the X. All right. And then I obviously was quite open about my career, and then I ended up singing a song which was relevant and connected to my emotional journey, and Say Something. And that was actually a song that I was listening to for the first time, a month or so before, with my old man in the car in Pembrokeshire radio. Say something or I'm giving up on you.
I watched your performance of that last night in prep for the show, and it's brilliant. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. It's on YouTube, isn't it? Yeah.
Cheers, mate. I appreciate that, but that's the story. Weirdly, I look back at every single performance that I did on that show and cringe and certainly go awkward turkey, because I'm like, oh my god, it's terrible. But what it was, with reflection, was a moment where I'm saying, say something or I'm giving up on you, talking about music, talking about my moment, talking about how this is the last straw, not cliche, not a caricature, but this is the moment where I'm giving you everything. And if you give something back to me, if you say something to me, I'm going to know that this is going to be my future. Otherwise I can't continue. Because there was moments where I had with Vicky, who is my biggest supporter, my wife, just my absolute soul, where she was like, what are we doing? Where's this going? And I'm like, just hold on. I just know something's going to happen. I believe something's going to happen. This was 5-6 months before the X Factor, or even I considered doing it. I just felt like something was going to happen because I was so close to something. And again, we look back, I've achieved nothing in the realms of people that you see at number ones and go and do these things. But in my own world, that, even doing that was a success and a win. And, and coming off of that show, albeit, coming out when I did and the manner that I did, again, it felt like generally people were really behind me and didn't understand why I didn't get any further or whatever else. And, for years I've had, oh God, you're amazing when you won the show. And I was like, no, I didn't win it. I didn't go on to do that. Yeah. But people remember it. And that, from a profile situation, has allowed me to be, authentic in everything else that I've done. And Simon bought into that, when he was asking me to do songs by David Bowie, and like Heroes. And I was like, that's not really for me. That's not the type of song that I want to do. Yeah. And him saying, oh, go away, come back and tell me what song you're going to do. And I come back and I go on to the top bunk and I'm like, I'm 200, I'm so many miles away from home, and I look on my maps, I'm 252 miles away from my wife, and thinking what I would do to just travel back there tonight and see them for one night. It's a 500-mile round trip. Oh my God, 500 miles. Let me listen. Oh my God, this isn't, I would walk this is a fucking love song. And then I go back into Simon the next day and say, I want to do 500 miles. And he's like, what are you on about? I want to do it like this. And he's
it's a bold one. Yeah.
Yeah. He then gained even more trust in who I was as an artist and what I wanted to be. So I had got that freedom when I said no, which never happens to Simon. He was like, okay, I get it. And I trust it. I trust I trust you to be you. And so I had and I think for that, when I came away from it and the little highlights moments where you'd, for months and maybe years put in your biography to try and get more gigs and keep them flowing.
Yeah.
It's like Simon's predicted winner. Do you know what I mean? Of that year and stuff. It's kind of because there was a genuine feeling that I think he thought I was going to go and do it. And so, yeah, it's a weird one, that show. And I know whenever I get onto it, I kind of want to talk about it, but then move on very quickly.
Well, that is exactly what we're going to do now, because I don't. How long? The X Factor was 2014, wasn't it?
It was 2014, and so again, I knew that I wanted to continue with music and do what I was going to do, but I needed to just go away for a while and figure out exactly who I was, because even though I knew who I was, I wasn't the type of person that was doing covers and all that sort of stuff pre-X Factor. So all of a sudden I had this new thing, which again, I wouldn't say I turned my nose up to, but I'd be far more motivated to write my own music and perform my own music.
Yeah.
And so, then you start to evolve and you start to realize that actually singing other people's moment is the greatest thing ever, because you actually sing some of the greatest songs and you figure out how you can take those songs to influence your own writing. And that took me a moment. So to do that, I kind of knew that I needed, some time. So to break into radio, and actually what radio did was, and what we spoke about in the last episode, was it grounded me. It massively grounded me from walking out and being in a world which I didn't wholly find comfortable, to actually getting back to real life and having to talk about real life things, and albeit, being in Simon Cowell's, house and, looking at LA and trending #1 in the world, that's not normal. So actually getting back to real life things like, my daughter shitting in the bath. And like, oh my God, being completely scared.
Fabulous polar opposites.
Totally. But actually, what's going to work better on radio? Me talking about being in a multi-million-pound house with Simon Cowell and trending worldwide on Twitter, or actually your child pooing in the bath. I know what makes better radio, know. But you're forcing yourself to go back to that place which you were previously a lot happier with. And for me, again, radio was like therapy. So it was brilliant. And then, I was fortunate enough, a lot like Karl, to be able to support the Overtones, who, again, I'd known for years. Like I met the boys, I think probably back in 2009, 2010, signed to the major, and we did a record called Samaritan Songs to Save a Life with the likes of Kate Tunstall, James Morrison. And I was like, wow, these boys are quality. These are brilliant. I ended up doing a show with them, supporting them. And no joke, I performed. It was, a brilliant reaction, such a wonderful crowd. I walked around to the front, and within 30 seconds of the lads being on stage, every single man, woman, child, dog were on their feet, loving life, singing, dancing, like they didn't have a care in the world. And I was like, wow, what have I just walked into? This is incredible. And so, singing the songs like, some of the greatest songs of all time, The Temptations, My Girl, it give me just a little more time, uplifting, this feeling of positivity. I mean, you know what it's like, Karl, at a show.
The Overtones fan base is, so I've done multiple support slots for different artists. Their fan base, your fan base, is it's mental, and I say mental in the best way, because everybody is there to have the best night ever. They're not there because I like that song, or I like Gambling Man, or I like it when they do whatever. They're there to have the best night ever. They know every song going. They scream for every routine.
Mm-hmm.
It's a mad gig, isn't it?
Mate, it's a magical place. It is a magical place.
And they invest in the support artists as well, those fans.
Yeah, 100%.
They're not, you play some like support gigs and you're on before whoever, like an indie band, and the people are like, oh, I'm gonna get a beer while the support's on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do you know
but
what I mean? And I'll make my way down to the front when the Stereophonics come on.
Yeah, but that's down to if like different artists have different fans. Like I went to go and watch Oasis in the last show that they did before they stopped. No one knew they were going to stop, and it was a phenomenal show. But the crowd at an Oasis show have a different sort of mentality when being at a show to the crowd at, for example, an Overtones show. And
like what I found was, because when Jay was on with the boys, he's very much in the same like vein as the boys, musical influence wise and stuff like that. And he's kitted out and he looks dapper and he's got his dicky bow and I fucking turned up like this.
Yeah.
With an acoustic guitar, and they still gave me love.
Yeah, well, that's
town and
but in all honesty, in all honesty, Karl, that's that's not just because the audience is incredible, but that's also because without blowing smoke, but you are an incredible entertainer and a songwriter and a performer as well. So
that's lovely. But they are an amazing fan base.
Yeah, they are, and that is and that's that is too true. And so it's kind of one of those things where it really opened my eyes to that world of actually again just moving away. If there was any element of kind of not bitterness, but cynical is the word, cynical musician. And albeit I couldn't call myself cynical after the things that I'd done and experienced, but like, going on the road and doing that sort of thing, it was like, it's about none of that. All of this, and I had an element of that as well back on the show, but it's about nothing. You can write the best song in the world, but if some doesn't connect to it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? You could be doing anything. Like what I'm doing, quite frankly, that person shouldn't really give a f about. They shouldn't care about, because do you know what? They've got so many more other things going on in their world. But if you can create a moment to bring them out of their troubles, bring them out of their world, so they don't worry, they come into a gig and they forget everything. That's all they are, is happy, they're content, they are just joyful with what music does.
And I think that's what people have missed for the last 15 months. I think that's have you guys done any gigs yet since COVID with the Overtones?
Yeah,
or is it...
I mean, we were fortunate enough to get out, a couple of times last summer for some shows.
And what was the response like to those after people had been in lockdown for 6 to 8 months?
It was emotional. Like it was emotional, and it not just for them, for us, because again, you realize you don't. I mean, us boys don't take it for granted. Anyway, I mean, we're all so alike in the respect that, as I told you before, I'm not one that really craves fame, and sometimes fortune, and that's my downfall. Of course,
everyone is humble in that band, aren't they?
But it's like they don't seek for fame. The Overtones aren't big because they've been on TV. The truth is, like, we're really fortunate to get a couple of TVs each year to promote our campaigns. And if we do, it makes a massive impact, but we don't rely on it. What we rely on is our amazing fan base coming out, continuing to spread the word in the way that they do and supporting us in the way that they do. So it's kind of like, we were like, I was like, oh my God, I don't want that. I just want to make great music and perform and have a great career. That's what the boys want. And so we were, the first show that I did as an Overtone was at this place called Potter's, and it was magical. It was magical on every level. It was magical on every level because at the end of the show, there was like 1,500 people crammed in to see it. And at the end, it was electric, right? It was electric. And at the end, in the dressing room, the tour manager, Cristiano, came up and he was like, right, boys, we've got a meet and greet. Right, we've got a meet and greet. And I was like, oh, wow, like what, like when? No, I said, how long? And he said 15 minutes. So I was like, I was like, oh my God, right. Oh, you know, we're going to be doing a meet and greet for 15 minutes. Like that's nuts. That's not in my nature. So, but what he meant was in 15 minutes time. So I was like mucking about, got called down on stage, huge queue, hundreds of people in the queue. And we, you know, like contractually, we had something like 25 minutes, 30 minutes to do the meet and greet. Mate, we were there for nearly 2 hours. And that's something that I have done my entire music career is meet everyone and say hello to everybody.
Yeah, I think it's 50% of the job sometimes, the time that you put in afterwards with the people who've bought the tickets. I think it's important.
And it totally is. And not only because they've taken time out of their, you know, life to come and try and gain an experience for whatever you're going to give, but equally from the other point of view, it's like, if you continue to want to be supported, like show some appreciation.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? Show some appreciation for what that person's done. And also like that builds hunger for you. Like, wow, you know, someone's just told me about how they've, you know, what's going on and actually what this has meant to them. Like, so, you know, we are very much, you know, and I genuinely believe everything that I've been through has kind of brought me to being in the group in the Overtones.
But
because
can I go back a few steps? How did you get the call?
That was what I wanted to ask him, Karl. Well done.
Did you go, I want to be in this band and they want me to be in this band? How did that come about?
And was it an easy decision?
Boys anyway.
And was it an easy decision?
I just literally pretty much finishing off my own album, which I'd been waiting to release for so long. I'd just been on UK tour support with Alexander O'Neill. I was ready for my time to be like, yeah, cool. It's been how many years? I've got myself. This is my sound. This is what I'm doing. And I was dropping my Nova off at a children's birthday party, and I had a phone call from Daz. And he was like, hello, mate, how you doing? You know, what's going on? And of course, we're mates. So,
yeah.
You know, so I was like, yeah, all good, mate. Yeah, I'm just dropping Nova off and we're doing it. He was like, look, I just want to put something by you. Like, me and the boys have been talking. And, you know, just wanted to see how you felt about maybe sort of joining the group and talking about joining the group. And I was like, this is a wind up.
So you didn't see it coming at all? You had no pre-warning, no thoughts about it?
Nothing at all.
Wow.
And then we went and met up, and yeah, it was like it was supposed to be. It was like it was supposed to be. And there was, honestly, for me, again, that moment of all the things that I'd done, X Factor. For me, this was the step to something that I'd always been trying to achieve. Doing great music to great people without any of the bullshit.
Yeah.
And
Amen.
And so I was like, yeah, I was like, absolutely.
I gotta go and buy a suit.
Yeah, the biggest problem was the fact that the boys dance, and I've never danced to a song in my life.
So one of my questions was, what about the dance routines? Because it's not like. So Tom, when like with the Overtones, it's like
I've seen loads of footage. Yeah, I've seen them on
like
telly.
A little two-step and a click.
No.
It's a fucking routine.
It
for
is.
like 15 songs. And then there's the slide backs, and then the slide, and then they swap mics. It is
slick, mate. Whose mic is whose? No one knows anymore.
No one knows.
Yeah, they are so slick. They are so slick.
You are.
No. Well, I wasn't. I didn't have a clue. And the truth is, the boys don't know this, but when we were talking about it, even, you know, because it wasn't a dead set. It was kind of like, you know, we're talking about it. We all want it. We obviously need to try and figure out if it works, right?
Yeah.
From a vocal perspective, from all that sort of stuff. So we need to get in the studio and figure out how we going to work, how we're going to blend. You know, I'm sort of coming from a solo artist point of view. Like, how's that going to work? And, but in the moment after I met, I was meeting up with somebody like twice a week, 3 times a week, like looking at their routines on YouTube going, oh my God, I've got to try and find something in my system.
Wow.
So when I get into the dance studio with them, it's not really awkward because they're looking
like
at someone who's an awkward turkey, right? Yeah, totally. Who's like, you know, like, so just,
which is one of the best
the robot,
videos
all right.
you ever see, is that Ed Sheeran audition where he's gone to like the Brit school or something.
It was, was it Fame Academy or
fantastic-
something?
I don't know. It's the most
Oh,
fantastic audition you'll ever watch, because for someone who is like a stadium selling artist,
he's really like, I'm so surprised that found the light of day, if I'm honest.
It was always going to find the light of day if it's Ed Sheeran.
Yeah, the latest one with him, just to like sidestep, is he's in Greece. That's the latest one.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah.
What was this? What was this? He was in Greece.
Ed Sheeran now when he was in school, he did a school production of Greece.
Right.
Incredible.
Where he played like Doody or something.
And someone's found the footage and put it online.
Yeah, they're selling it. It's up for auction.
Do you know, what a guy though, mate. And do you know what? I've met Ed on a number of occasions now, both back in the day before all of the success.
Yeah.
Songwriting
I did a
seminars.
gig with him when it was £4 the ticket in the Bedford.
But
and it was like
the Bedford classic. But he's always been the same. But do you know what the difference to Ed? Not the difference, but he was never ever frightened to just put himself out there, ever. Like there was this like intrinsic belief that was like, yeah, cool, I'm supposed to be here, I'm doing this. Do you know what I mean? Like fearless. There's fearless. You can look at even moments where he got some success, and then it was invited to go and support Example and Professor Green and stuff like that. And then there's behind the scenes footage of Example freestyling, and then Ed is just literally standing up and freestyling at him by
the bins outside. They're by the bins at the back of a venue. It's such a cool video with
no given. It's like, yeah, your Example, you've had number ones, but look, I'm gonna bury you. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just brilliant. But anyway,
you took dance classes.
I took dance classes.
Yeah, we're not pushing past this.
We got, and then we got together, and of course, it was.
You also made a big promo thing of it, and was that
the announcement
that day?
The announcement. Yeah. Well, the truth is, no one knew what was going to happen. No one really knew what the people's response was going to be. Obviously, Lockie had left. No one knows what's going to happen in the industry, how people are going to take to stuff.
Of course.
But the truth is, when the announcement happened, it was incredible. It was everything and more. Everything and more. I feel
people in that fan base, dude, had already made a connection with you. That was the key. They'd already had a connection with you. And a lot of them haven't seen you at the gigs and stuff like that. So they already had a thing. So it was like an ideal fit. It was it
was like a glove, mate.
Taking it in a new direction, but
it was like a glove. Yeah, we from a music perspective, we were never going to change who the Overtones are about. And we sort of say it, and the boys more so, that the Overtones isn't about the individuals within it. It's not. It's become a family. It's become more than that. It's about those things that we talk about, like performing just great music and giving people moments away. And it just so happens that there's 3 awesome lads, and there was 5 incredible boys, very talented, that created that, and have now created a legacy, which this year we get to celebrate 10 years of. And it's something that we've been really sensitive towards, making an album which celebrates the past, lives in the present, but also is looking towards the future, and hopefully another 10 years. And 13 bangers, 15 on the deluxe, bangers of some of the greatest songs that could make you feel good. And we just changed the perception about what we were going to do that, what songs we're going to do that. And we're absolutely buzzing. There's originals on there as well, new original rose tinted.
And when does the album come out? Obviously we have to, because this is
July 30th. So July 30th it drops. Pre-orders available now. We've done the bundles, we've done everything that we possibly can to just get that support and ask people to buy it, because as with anything, we are independent. We've not got a major record label, and any perception that there's these big companies investing in us and spend all this. No. This is us investing in our own music and our own project, with the hope that not that we're going to make money from this, but it's going to create that elevation to keep our profile, to continue for us to do what we love to do, and that is get out selling tickets, performing to people. Do you know what I mean? So that's what it's about for us. And if we can get anywhere near the charts, which has never previously been a thing for us, but if we can get anywhere near the charts, like, it'd be a huge win. So we're with the deluxe bundles, on the website, the Overtones.tv. If you go there, you can get bundles where you can get the physical signed copy, and then alongside it, for an extra £1 or whatever else, you can get the deluxe, which includes 15 versions, 15 songs track by track, for an extra £1 or something like that. For 13 quid, you can get a signed copy and the digital album. For extra, you can get a t-shirt. And so we're trying to do cassette tape, so
they're coming back, aren't they? They're coming back.
Yeah, it's great. So
I don't know what you play on.
No, I don't know where you play them on. I think it's more you just sort of hold it in your hand and it works. Listen,
it does.
I can't wait to hear the album, and July the 30th it drops.
Just really quickly, touring.
Yeah, totally. So
COVID.
COVID. We're really confident, as with all of the team, that we're going to be heading out on that 10-year anniversary tour, November, December. Tickets are on sale now. We've sold a bucket load of tickets, but the truth is, obviously, everyone's still a little bit worried about what's going on. So, we're going through, as we release the album, there's going to be a lot more people knowing about the tour, and with a bit of luck, we'll sell out just like the Overtones have for the last 10 years. 11 sellout tours. Now, the last one we did in 2019, I was privileged to obviously be a part of. It was the sellout, and it was the best tour ever, and we are going for it. We're putting everything into this tour, so it's going to be a night to remember.
Jay, you need bloody amazing support act.
Go on, Karl.
And if I find one, I'll pass his name on to you. Okay, I did it. Yeah.
God, put yourself on there, man.
Karl, have you got some? Did you have some? Was it quick
I've
fires
got a quiz before we let you go. I'm gonna do a quiz with you. But I'll ask one, Tom asks one, I'll ask one, Tom, me, Are you going to shout the first answer, like the Friends quiz? Remember the Friends quiz with Phoebe?
Yes.
Okay, like that. You ready?
Is he ready?
He's ready.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, Jay, summer or winter?
Summer.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Too hot or too cold?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Too cold.
Kanye or Taylor?
Kanye.
New music or old music?
Old music.
Solo or band?
Band.
Fight or flight?
It's a good one. It's a good one, but definitely band. What was that?
Fight or flight?
Fight all the way, baby.
Oh, nice. Ollie Murs or Simon Cowell?
Oh,
you can say neither. That's all right.
Tricky. Ollie. I like Ollie. He's a good lad.
Okay. Studio.
I like Simon for the record, but.
Yeah.
But I prefer to have a beer with Ollie.
Studio or touring?
Oh, mate, that's too difficult. But right now, it's got to be touring. Touring.
And the 10th question in honor of the Overtones 10: Scotland or England?
Oh, you're killing me! You're killing me!
Scotland, say it.
You're killing me.
You can't say England. You're Welsh.
You're killing me, man.
He said Scotland. He said Scotland.
That's Jay. That is Jay diplomatically choosing to not answer the last. And I understand. That's totally fine.
You're killing me.
I'm saying Scotland.
I'm saying Wales.
Yeah. Okay.
Wales.
Jay, thank you so much for joining us on 2 episodes of the Awkward Turkey podcast. I didn't want to have to condense it into one, so I'm so pleased that you've given us your time for 2 episodes. It's been amazing speaking to you. I am going to come and watch you on tour when you go back on tour, because I haven't seen the Overtones live yet, and I absolutely want to.
You're missing a trick.
Yeah,
I am missing a trick.
Well, look, lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. Good effort, cracking work with this podcast. It's been a lot of fun, and appreciate you asking me. But keep up the good work, lads, and I'd love to jump on again and do another one.
Phenomenal.
Whenever you want,
boys.
Whenever you want.
Album out 30th of July, tour to follow. Don't miss it.
Tickets out now. Yeah, the Overtones.tv. Go and get amongst it. Cheers, boys.
Thank you so much, Jay James. What a brilliant guest. What a lovely guy. What a lovely guy.
Yeah, he's a top lad.
And also, we had to do it over 2 episodes because he's had such
a would he?
Such a well, he wouldn't shut the up. No.
He won't mind me saying that.
No, I know he won't. But he's had such a big career. We had to make it into 2 episodes. And it's interesting. It is interesting because when he talks about the X Factor and stuff like that, it is amazing how people have such differing experiences of doing reality TV. When we had Sophie and Lauren on, they will have been on, won't they? Yep.
Yeah,
they will. Yeah, when we had Sophie and Lauren on, obviously they had a great experience with Over the Rainbow, and he had a positive experience with that. But it's amazing, isn't it, how your career can turn in so many different directions, and he's wound up in the Overtones. And I said it, and I mean it. I am going to go and watch him live. I will.
It's mad because, like, genuinely, I reckon I played about 4 supports with Jay. I did a couple with the boys anyway, and then Jay kind of came and did a couple. And like that, how crazy is that you're doing a support for a band and then you're in the band? But the same happened with Jamie Morrison, my Stereophonics friend. He was in the band called the Noisettes, supporting the Stereophonics, and that's obviously how Kelly clocked him and went. So when they were missing a drummer.
But it's clever. It's clever with the Overtones because if he supported them a few times, then their fan base will have seen Jay perform, and it's not a complete stranger. It's somebody that they've seen and they've heard and they've got to know. So it's a nice transition. It is a nice transition. But lovely guy, brilliant guest. What have we got coming up, Karl, next month in August?
Bro. Tom, what haven't we got coming up?
I'm excited.
Yeah, I nearly said, I don't know, what have we got coming up? Because it's May. It's not May, it's June.
Yeah.
We got the golf episode. That should be fun.
So, wait a minute.
We haven't shot it yet.
But theoretically, it's you, me, and Adam Westcott
playing golf.
And
then
what could go wrong?
You, and Adam Westcott going back to the pub for a beer and doing one of his silly plays.
But we'll actually be able to act the play out because we'll be in the same room.
Well, yeah, that's the excitement of it. I mean, I'm terrified.
I'm terrified about playing golf, mate. Terrified about playing golf.
No. It's all right. Golf's all right, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but I've never played golf before, so...
Never even played, like, gone to the driving range?
No. Anyway... What I was going to say is to anybody that's going, a golf episode, I'll give that one a miss. It's kind of a different golf episode
it's not going to be. None of us can play golf.
So first of all, none of us can play golf, but also
there's going to be beer.
There's also like a competition that runs on each hole. So
there's going to be alcohol involved. It's brilliant.
Adam Westcott
and you're going to be in the rain in Swansea. What's better than that?
Remember a minute ago when I said I was getting excited about it? Yep. No longer am I excited about a half-cut Adam Westcott, you, me, and him never having played golf in the rain in Swansea.
Don't fight him. He does taekwondo.
So we have got a bumper month coming up in.
I can't wait.
In August, and it's also my birthday. It's my birthday next week.
Yeah, make it about you. If it wasn't already about you, make it more about you.
My birthday next week, and what more do I want to do? Still got that
card
birthday?
Up from last year.
Sorry.
I said, still got that.
No, I heard you. I heard you, dickhead. I heard you.
I heard you. I'm just sorry.
Oh, dear. Listen, thank you so much for joining us on the Awkward Turkey podcast for July's episodes. We hope you enjoy what we've done. As always, and I say it a lot, and you'll see me in the comments if I'm watching this live, put a comment on the actual video. Like the actual video.
Yes,
if you've enjoyed anything this month, give it a little share on your social media.
Give us a shout on socials. We'll share it.
Absolutely. Screen grab it on Instagram, share it on your story, all the stuff you've got to do that helps us continue to make this podcast. And yeah, we've got loads of ideas of what we're going to do with it moving forward. It's going to change its form a little bit, and we hope you like the way that it changes its form. A bit like if you lose a little bit of weight and everybody goes, you're looking great.
Like a gremlin.
bit like a gremlin, nothing like a gremlin at all. The only thing that's like a gremlin is when we get wet playing golf, we won't change from Gizmo into something that looks like Adam
You're not going
Westcott's
to believe
cake.
this, but I've never seen the Gremlins.
I would normally go, God, Karl, that's weird. You haven't done it. But as we've established, you
Why have I
sit in a
never seen
dark
the
room.
Gremlins?
Why?
Because why have I never seen the Gremlins?
Because you live under a fucking rock.
There it is. Drop
I
those bloody
imagine
mics.
you in a dark room with a light off, and Claire comes in and she knocks on the door and she goes, Karl, Tom's ready to do the podcast. And the light comes on and you go, brilliant. I haven't seen or done anything
Where's
for
my
33
beanie?
years.
Yeah. Bro, we never ran the intro either in these episodes.
I play it at the beginning now. I don't trust us to even say it anymore. I think we don't say roll the titles enough. I just play them at the beginning.
Also, all the way through this episode, and for the next one, I will change where I'm sitting because all the way through it just kept going.
Phenomenal. I can't wait to sit for 7 hours and edit
At one
this.
point, Jay just looked at the camera like this.
We're just so pro. We're so
Hey,
pro.
I'm all over it.
Yeah. Shall we? Karl unplugged his mic. Shall we do this again next week in
Yes,
Swansea?
please. I'm ready to rock.
7 o'clock. We're no longer ready to rock. Right. This has been the worst sign off for an episode ever. Karl, say goodbye to the lovely people.
Ah!
See you next week. Bye.